Okay, so we'll talk about the obvious here. I fell out of my bed. I'm getting pretty good at falling. Um, but yes, this is the aftermath. I'll show you pictures of my knees too. They're beautiful. But anyway, just so I don't have to look at it, we'll just yeah, see how cute. Anyway, my story is gonna be my oldest daughter's birthday is coming up. So story time. I've said it a little bit. She's gonna be 31. And I mentioned it on some of the videos before. I was 14 when I got pregnant with her. I had just turned 15 in December and I had her in February. So barely 15 when I had her. Couldn't drive, but I was working. I started working when I was 12 years old. Like pretty much full time, but I had done some modeling and stuff like that before then. Like 9 years old, I started doing pageants and modeling and stuff. But like I said, 14 pregnant. When my mother found out, I was 22 or 24 weeks, I think. And she tried to force me to have an abortion with her. And I was completely against it. At that point in Pennsylvania at the time, parents could force you to have an abortion due to the laws. A minor child had no rights, and the parents guardians could make you have an abortion. Somehow, I don't know, we were going through the process. It would have been a 2-day process. Horrible. They explained it to me. She was trying to force me. I don't know how I got out of it. Thank God. I pretty much threatened her that if she made me go through with it, I would no longer be here on this planet if she made me go through with it. Anyway, she didn't, and I was able to keep her. So we get to maybe 26 weeks gestation, I think. And I said it's been 31 years. And I went into preterm labor with her. When I went into labor, went into the hospital, they tried to stop the labor. They gave me magnesium sulfate, and they gave me too much of it, and it stopped my heart and my breathing, and I coded. And when I did that, I came out of my body. So I died. I came out of my body, and I watched it from the corner of the room, and I'm looking down, and I hear a voice tell me that I wasn't done yet, and to get back down there because she needed me. When I came to, it felt like my body was made of lead. Like I could not lift my head. I couldn't lift my body. I thought I was paralyzed. I didn't know what was going on. And when I woke up, I thought that she had passed. I didn't think she was, I didn't think she survived. I couldn't feel her. I didn't know what had happened. I was very confused. I didn't know what was going on. And when I finally came to and figured out what was going on and whatnot, they told me, and I was so thankful that she was still alive. She was still in there. But they had to transfer me to a different hospital. It was a higher level hospital that was closer to Children's Hospital, NICU, closer to a hospital that could handle her if I actually had her, because I was not out of the woods. I kept having contractions. She was nowhere near ready to be born, and if I had her, she was going to be super tiny. So they transferred me to a different hospital in an ambulance, and I had to stay in the hospital. I can't remember. I actually called my mother tonight to ask her, and but neither one of us could remember. But I was in the hospital for weeks, on bed rest in the hospital, and they're giving me IVs and shots and all. Like, I was not allowed to get up. They would not even allow me to get up to use the restroom. Like, I had to stay in the bed and use a bedpan, and like, I was not allowed to get up at all. I had to remain flat because she could, like, I couldn't move because they did not, she had to stay in there and cook. Now, at 14 years old, it's bad enough being pregnant. Any woman that's been pregnant, pregnancy is freaking hard. Between the nausea and the hormones and the swelling and backaches and just everything involved, you're just miserable. And I was going to school full time. I was working, and I was growing a baby, hiding it too. Then once she found out, I swear, once my mother found out, then all the problems started. I think if she wouldn't have found out, I probably would have hid the whole thing. Anyway, then can you imagine then, let's take an active, 14-year-old that was doing all kinds of stuff and make her lay in a bed for weeks at a time to try and keep this baby inside. You know how hard that was? Pumping all kinds of medicine in me. I swole up so big because IV fluids and stuff, it makes you miserable. I was so miserable. Everything hurt, and you can't take anything while you're pregnant and hurting. My joints swelled up, my legs swelled up. I blew up because the water retention, and I couldn't move. They wouldn't let me walk. They wouldn't let me do nothing. And I just barely roll over, and I was miserable. Finally, when I got released from the hospital, they released me to go home, but at home I had to wear this monitor on my stomach several times a day. You wear this monitor on your stomach several times a day, and you would then plug it to the telephone and it recorded my contractions and the baby's heart rate and stuff. And so it would send this thing across the telephone that, to monitor my contractions. So if I was having too many or whatever, they were monitoring her heart rate on this stuff to make sure she was okay once I went home. So after spending weeks in the hospital and all this medicine, they sent me home on medicine to keep her in because she's still, trying to get me closer to term. I believe her due date was February 20th, I think. It's been so long. I wish I could remember. It was very traumatizing. But so they're trying to keep her in. I'm on this, like, 2 or 3 different medicines to keep her in. I still, even at home, I still was only allowed, I had to, I was on bed rest. I could only get up to go to the bathroom. That was it. From the bed to the couch to the bathroom. That was it. I was not allowed to do anything else. And wear this monitor several times a day to send it the contractions and the baby's heart rate over the phone line. Whew. I'm hot. I'm gonna turn that fan on. It's hot. So we did that forever. And then we finally we made it. Now her birthday is the 12th of February, so we made it almost a term. They had given me like steroid injections and stuff to make sure her lungs were developed and whatnot. And the morning of her birth, I had a doctor's appointment. At this point, I was going weekly, I believe, to the doctor. And from what I can remember, I went to the doctor's appointment. And I think it was a 10 o'clock. Yeah, it was a 10 o'clock appointment because we went to the doctor and I was miserable. I was hurting. I was very uncomfortable at the end. And I was dilated to 3 for a long time, like almost the entire time, like from the time I was in the hospital with her at 26, 28 weeks until the end, which I think they said I was like 38 weeks when she delivered, but I think our dates were off. But anywho, when I went to this appointment, the doctor checked me and she's like, "Yeah, I think we can go ahead and go." And she ruptured my water in her office, and when she did, it had meconium stain. So that means the baby had a bowel movement in the water, which is not a good thing. And so she's like, "Yeah, you need to get." And her office was attached to the hospital, so we went directly from the doctor's office to the hospital, like just straight over. I think they put me in a wheelchair. I'm pretty sure I went straight over there in a wheelchair. And so from a 10 o'clock doctor's appointment, get over there, they put me on the monitor. And all I remember is my back and my hips hurting so bad. They got me in a shower, and I told them I need to use the bathroom. I thought I needed to have a bowel movement. And they're like, "No, no, no, come back in here and let us check you." And sure enough, it was time to push. Literally 3 pushes, that baby popped out. I had her at 12:12. She came so fast. I didn't have any epidural, nothing like that, because she came so fast. But she ended up being 8 pounds, 5 ounces. I lied. She did not. She was 7 pounds, 5 ounces. So, pretty sure she was, we cooked her long enough. She was a good sized baby. The prettiest baby I'd ever seen in my life. Of course, because she was mine. I was absolutely in love as soon as I saw her. And the joy of my life, absolutely worth every minute of everything I put into it. It does not seem like it was 31 years ago, yet it seems like it was 100. I don't know. It just is wild to think how long ago it was, and then to think it couldn't have been that long ago. It's weird. It is so wild. I don't know. They put you through it, though. These kids, I don't know. They put you through it. The sacrifices and the... I don't know. I think about it all the time, man. That's her birth story. It was wild. Can't believe I was 14. What the hell? I do not recommend. 0 to 10. Do not try this at home. Don't recommend. Wait. But if it does happen to you or happens to somebody you know, so help them, support them. It's not the end of the world. They will be okay. Do not tell them they ruined their life. Do not tell them they fucked up and they'll never be able to get it. Don't do that to them. That is the worst thing you can say to somebody. Everybody said that to me, and that was the worst. Don't do that. That's so mean. Don't just give up on them. You don't know people's circumstances. You don't know what they're running from or what they're hiding from or why things happen the way they did. It's not necessarily they're just out being a wild teenager because they want to be. It's not always that. But don't. Be compassionate. It's not the end of the world for that person, and you never know what that baby's going to become. Because my baby is an amazing person. She's an awesome human being, and she is doing amazing things. And had she have not gotten here through a 15-year-old mama, I mean, come on. You know, I look at the story of Jesus. His mama was a teen mom. I mean, if you believe in that story, I mean, come on. You got to look at all these. Oh no, I'm not saying I'm like Mary. No, don't take it that way. I'm not saying that. But I am saying, don't be so quick to judge people. That's not your place. It's not. But it is our place to help others. It is our place to help God and help love and be human, be kind, be nice. And if no one has told you today, you are loved. And until next time.